A silver mist clung to the damp blade of grass at Pine Hill Cemetery, turning each dewdrop into a tiny spotlight under the dull grey sky. Rows of mourners stood in silence, their black attire bleeding into the sombre atmosphere as if the world itself had lost its colours. In the centre of it all, a small white coffin lay gilded with white Moses, its fragile size a cruel reminder of a life extinguished too soon. Suddenly, the hush was ripped apart by the thunderous pounding of paws. A muscular figure burst from the gravestones, mud spatters flying with every bound. All eyes widened as the enormous German Shepherd charged straight toward the coffin. What drove this dog to ignore every command and rush heckling into sorrow's heart? 3 years earlier, Ranger had been forged not as a family pet, but as a warrior. Under the stern eye of Officer Mark Dawson, the pup learned to track, to sniff out danger and to face it head on. Fast, powerful, unerringly loyal, Ranger was justice on 4 legs, yet when Mark was wounded and retired, Ranger's next mission lay not in the streets, but at home. From the moment he padded into the Dawson house, loyalty found a new purpose. Lily Dawson. He slept every night at her door, vigilant even in slumber, his breath a steady guard. And she in turn whispered her dreams and sorrows into his fur, believing him the only soul who truly understood. Each morning, Lily would press her palm to Ranger's head and whisper, "We're family, right?" He would lift his paw in solemn promise, and in those moments, nothing else mattered. Could a bond this strong be severed by any force in the world? Recess at Pine Hill Elementary was Lily's happiest hour. The chain-link fence, no barrier to her joy. Ranger stood outside, silent sentinel, his deep brown eyes tracking her every move. But one day laughter turned cruel when Olivia Carter, the school bully, snatched Lily's treasured notebook, pages filled with drawings of her and Ranger's imaginary adventures. Olivia ripped out each sheet and tossed them into the off-limits pond with a sneer. Lily's small shoes slipped on the wet grass as she lunged for her pages, and in an instant she was submerged, water swallowing her cry. None of the other children moved. But Ranger did. Would any fence or rule stand between him and his girl? In a single, heart-stopping moment, Ranger vaulted the 4-foot fence and crashed through the pond's mirrored surface. The cold water sliced through his fur, but he didn't falter. Lily's tiny hands reached up, and with the precision of a trained officer, Ranger clasped her collar and hauled her gasping to the surface. She coughed and clung to him, surrendering to safety. Then chaos erupted. Dangerous animal! Someone screamed! What if it attacked? Despite Lily's protests. He saved me. Fear and guilt twisted the story until the hero became a threat. Within hours, the school board, egged on by panicked parents and an insurance ultimatum, decreed Ranger must go. That afternoon, Mark's truck idled at the driveway. Jake Foster, a former canine trainer, waited 50 miles away with a barn and kennels. Lily fell to her knees, tears soaking into Ranger's fur. "Please don't take him," she sobbed. "I won't go back to the pond. I'll never set foot at school again. Just don't make him go." But Mark's jaw clenched. The decision was final. Ranger climbed into the truck bed without a single whimper, his head resting against Lily's shoulder as though saying farewell one last time. When the tailgate shut, his eyes found hers, steady, unwavering, until the truck rolled away and he disappeared from view. Lily collapsed into her mother's arms. The world fracturing beneath the weight of loss. How could she live without him? In the days that followed, 2 lives unravelled. Lily's laughter vanished, replaced by a hollow silence. The drawings that once brightened her room lay scattered, forgotten. At school, teachers whispered, "She's not the same." At Jake Foster's farm, Ranger lay motionless, refusing food, his eyes fixed on the road that led home. Each tick of the clock carried them further apart, and deeper into despair. Then came the collapse. Mid-recess, Lily crumpled to the ground, her strength drained by grief. Rushed to Pine Hill General Hospital, doctors delivered their grim verdict. She was wasting away, not from illness, but from a shattered heart. That same night at the farm, Jake woke to an eerie silence. Ranger's kennel gate was ajar and empty. No tracks marked his flight. No yelps betrayed his path. He was coming home, guided by love alone. Under the inky darkness, Ranger sprinted. He thundered across back roads, hurdled fences. and slipped past startled motorists. Sightings poured in, a massive black and tan shepherd streaking down the highway, eyes blazing with purpose. Could he reach Lily in time? At dawn, the town gathered once more at the cemetery, this time for Lily's funeral. The same white coffin gleamed among roses, a symbol of finality. Then a blur of mud and determination appeared. Ranger burst through the gravestones, paws slashing at the coffin's pristine surface. Mourners gasped as he wailed a mournful plea. His body trembling with need, a doctor knelt, fumbled a key, and opened the lid. For a heartbeat, time froze. Then Lily's chest rose in a faint, miraculous breath. Shock rippled through the crowd. Rachel covered her mouth. Mark's fingers shook on the coffin's edge. Lily's eyes fluttered open, confusion giving way to recognition. "Ranger," she whispered, reaching out. Dog leapt forward, burying his head in her arms, his whine soft with relief. Could a miracle born of love rewrite the ending written by fear? In that moment, Pine Hill transformed. The ban was lifted, policies rewritten, and Ranger hailed as a hero. At a special school assembly, Lily stood before her classmates, Ranger by her side. She placed her hand on his head and whispered, "True love never leaves you behind." Her words echoed in every heart, sealing their legend. From that day forward, the miracle at Pine Hill Cemetery became a tale of devotion, a reminder that love, in its purest form, can conquer even death itself. In the weeks that followed that dawn in the cemetery, life in Pine Hill felt reborn. Mornings carried a soft glow, even beneath grey clouds, as if the world itself had been granted a second chance. Lily awoke each day to the familiar rhythm of Ranger's paws padding outside her door, and she would bury her face in his clean, warm fur. No longer a dream, but a steadfast ritual of gratitude. The chill of dawn smelled of promise. And their shared silence spoke volumes more than any words could. School, once a place of dread, became a canvas for healing. In the newly designated pet haven by the playground fence, children sat in circles with their animal companions while teachers read stories aloud. The air brimmed with laughter, the bark of a puppy mingling with giggles, the patter of tiny paws stirring up dusty footprints. Lily, seated beside Ranger, felt the weight lift from her chest each time his head rested on her lap. She raised her hand in class once more, her voice steady as she shared her plans to volunteer at the local animal shelter. Her classmates cheered. Even Olivia Carter offered a hesitant smile. Could forgiveness be as powerful as redemption? At home, the Dawson household brimmed with life's small miracles. Ranger chasing sunlight patterns on the living room floor. Lily's sketches fluttering off the fridge door. Mark and Rachel sharing relieved glances over morning coffee. The scent of pancakes, Lily's favourite, wafted from the kitchen on Saturdays, and Ranger danced on his hind legs, anticipation shining in his eyes. Even the old family car felt friendlier now, its worn leather echoing countless journeys they would take together. Though the town's policies had changed, the real transformation lay in the hearts of its people. Fundraisers for canine training programs sprouted. Local businesses sponsored obedience classes, and children penned letters of apology to Ranger's school board. The newspaper ran a weekly column titled Pause for Thought, recounting heroic animal stories and celebrating the bond between humans and dogs. Pine Hill's soul, once shadowed by fear, now pulsed with compassion. Autumn arrived in a blaze of gold and crimson, the cemetery's roses still blooming around that tiny white coffin, now a memorial marker rather than a tombstone. Every year on that solemn date, Lily and Ranger would stand hand in paw, surrounded by townsfolk who had come to believe in miracles. As the wind whispered through the oaks, Lily would lean close to Ranger and whisper, "Thank you for bringing me back." His tail would thump softly, as if replying, "I'll always find my way home." And in their shared gaze, every listener recognized the unspoken truth. Love's devotion can outpace even fate itself, one paw step at a time.